Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we are going to be touring a dead mall. This is the Neshaminy Mall in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. This was built in 1968, and like many other malls, it has fallen steadily into decline. Right now, it's just hanging on by a thread. So we're going to go check it out today, see how it's doing, see what there is to see here in the Neshaminy Mall. Come with me. Alright, so we're going to enter through the Boscovs, the only open anchor here at the Neshaminy Mall. Very impressive chandelier. Alrighty, so this is a newer Boscovs. It's not one of those cool old school ones with all the neon lights. But we'll make our way through here and head out into the mall. Very impressive skylight here above the Boscovs. And let's walk out here into the Neshaminy Mall. Let's see how it's doing. Alright, so I can see we have an empty store right here. This is Master Browse. And I like the tile work in this mall. I believe this was named after the Neshaminy River, Neshaminy Creek, and this sort of like tile work kind of reminds me of a river. This mall feels like being back in the 90s. It really has that old school feel to it. And this store over here was the Shoe Carnival, and this just recently closed. We were here a few months ago, and this was still open. We have more of this great tile down here. I love that. And over there is an old EB Games. All these stores closed over here. We have closed Spencer's. Lots of vacancies here. So now this is the main court area, and this is a Strawbridge. It was originally a Strawbridge and became a Macy's. And look up top at those lampposts. This was an old restaurant up there, and I would absolutely love to be able to walk up there and see that. But over here is a former fountain, and it's looking like these plants are in pretty rough shape. But this is dedicated to the Neshaminy Indian. Let me just read the plaque here. So the Neshaminy were a Delaware tribe that lived on the Neshaminy Creek. So they basically built this mall on their land and built a sad mall statue in their honor. And they don't even have water in this. They just have like these blue pom-poms. I know these plants are looking really unhealthy. We have these two really tall trees here, which are beautiful, but they got like spots on them. So it looks like they just kind of gave up on watering these plants. That makes me upset, because even if the mall's dead, at least have the plants be beautiful. But look at this cool tile planter here. Again, very old school mall. And now this was Strawbridge's. Originally Strawbridge's, later became Macy's. And look at this travertine. This is a travertine stone here. And now this is sort of like a porous stone. It has like little crystalline pockets in it. And you don't see this used very often anymore because it's expensive and it kind of fell out of fashion. But this must have been another entranceway that they have sealed up. So now over here is something really interesting. There used to be historical dioramas here, but they've been removing them. There were several of them that depicted scenes of American history, I think specifically Revolutionary War history, but I believe they've been removing them, and they're going to like different historical societies and stuff. But over here we still have 3 that are left, so let's take a look at these. I think these used to move, but I'm not certain on that. I think that's Benjamin Franklin right there. When was the last time you saw something like this in a mall? Or anywhere for that matter? Check out that clock on the wall here. And again, this little balcony with those beautiful lampposts. What I wouldn't give to go up there. I might bring a ladder on my next visit and just climb up there. But that is some vintage department store stuff, vintage mall, and it's absolutely beautiful and unique. This is kind of cool. This is like a little stage area. I guess back when they had events at this mall. Probably been a long time since they've used this. This place is a veritable ghost town. But it definitely has a nice vibe. I like the skylights. And I think it's a very old school feeling mall here, which is what I love about coming to these dead malls. I'm being quiet because there is security, and I just gotta be sneaky. You know how it goes. There's a Hot Topic that looks like it's closing over there. Alrighty, we're coming up to where the food court is. And I just want to show you up top here, because up in these skylights we have some really cool looking fake plants. Do you see them up there? So this mall still does have a lot of beauty left in it, despite how dead it is. And this is the food court, and only one place is open. Very cool tile work here. This old school mall tile work here. This has probably been here since at least the 80s or 90s. Over here we have the old Hollister. And this is the bridge. Okay, so this, I believe, is a church. And I always say, when you start seeing things like churches opening up in a mall, you know there's not much time left for it. So coming up ahead of us is the former Sears space. I don't think there's any open stores in this section here. Just look at how empty this is. Now, I believe there are plans underway to redevelop this mall. I think in the near future, they're going to be demolishing the enclosed portions and leaving the anchor spaces. We have an old Justice store. And this over here was the Express. And I want to say over here was it Torrid? Lots and lots of empty spaces. Yeah, this is Torrid. Look at that burning heart. That's the old Torrid logo. And let's see. I think we can get a look inside. Oh, looks like they're keeping some mall plants inside there. So up ahead of us is the old Sears, and I believe that's going to become medical offices. But just look at how open this mall is. This is a single floor mall, but it just has like lots of natural light. It actually is a very good looking mall, despite it being in such dire straits. So now, do you recognize this store? Do you see these old neon light tubes here just gathering dust? Does this remind you of a store maybe you grew up with? This is a former Sam Goody, and it later became an FYE. But originally it was the Sam Goody, and these sort of like jagged edges, that's left over from when it was Sam Goody. I don't think I can really see much inside here. Yeah, this is the old Sears. And this is supposed to be turned into a medical office. I don't know if they've made any progress with that or not. But yeah, I guess they have plans to redevelop it. Every time I drive past it, it looks like just a dead Sears. And the Barnes & Noble is still open. And it's kind of like an old school looking Barnes & Noble. They've recently updated Barnes & Noble, and they're all just really ugly now. Alrighty, so back behind this wall here is an entire wing of the mall that they've closed off. And I think they intended to close this permanently, but then I guess it was a fire issue, so they had to open it back up again. So we can walk down this completely empty hallway here. Over here is an old Charlotte Russe. You can see the CR still there. And let's see what other stores are here. Again, really cool tile work here. And this just feels like an old school mall, like a mall you'd go to back in the 90s. And it's a shame that it's going to close, because it's I really do like the vibe here. I do think this is a pretty mall. Looks like we have some water damage up top there. That's not good. So now this store used to be something really cool. Do you see this sort of like steel beam here? Or what looks like it's supposed to be a steel beam? This used to be a Time Out arcade. And now Time Out arcades were like an old mall arcade brand. Yeah, look at that. Time Out. Let's see. Yeah, you can see those little like yellow pop-outs on the wall there. That's from when this was Time Out. And now let me show you what this used to look like back when they had arcade machines in here. Because just a few years ago I came here, and they still had arcade games in here. Not sure what this one used to be, but it looks like an old mall store with these track lights and the slat wall. And there's Playland. Maybe we can go ride on an animal cart. Oh, what was this store? This looks interesting. Let me see if I can get a look inside. Maybe a Modell's or something? Oh, this was where they had all like the ride animals. So now this is an interesting looking store. I don't know what this was, but it almost looks like they had like a box office window or something. Like this is a space for somebody to stand and hand out tickets or something. Or maybe this was a display window? I'm not sure, but if you know what this one was, please let me know. More closed stores. Can we see anything? Don't know what this one was either. Oh, but there's lots of like desks and things back here. So this was an escape room. Now I got an idea for an escape room. It's called Escape from the Dead Mall Liminal Space Backrooms. And we take an entire Dead Mall and turn it into an escape room. What do you think about that idea? Anybody want to help me do that? I think that'd be a lot of fun. I don't know if I'd want to come and get my taxes done here. Don't think I would, don't think I'd trust this. But let's look inside back here. Oh, wow. There's lots of stuff in there. This looks like maybe like an old Radio Shack or something? I don't know. All right, let's walk down this hallway. Oh, I think we can see some old pictures of what the mall used to look like. There's the old Express. New York Company. This is the AMC. That's still there. We'll see that in just a few moments. The Torrid. American Eagle. Zales. Vans. Yeah. Used to be a pretty nice mall. Oh, look at this Barnes & Noble. Look at the trees. I guess they got rid of them. Alrighty, so here's the AMC movie theater. And this is still open and active, and I believe that the plan is to keep this when they do eventually demolish the internal portion of this mall. But just look at this bright, silvery chrome AMC with these neon lights up above. I think there's some neon lights that aren't turned on right now. But a very, very impressive movie theater. I miss movie theaters. They're another thing that's disappearing from the world, much like malls. So, I've been trying to make it out and see movies in theater. Look at these pillars of chrome. I just want to take a peek back here. Oh, look at all this neon here. What a beautiful movie theater. So now this used to be a Ruby Tuesday. And I don't know when it closed, but ever since I started coming here, it's been closed. Let's get a look back here. Just a quiet, pastel paradise here at the Neshaminy Mall. All right, let's step outside the mall for a moment and see some of the features on the outside here. Do you see that up in the corner there? That's the old seal for when this was a straw bridge in Clothier. And they left it up there, and I think we can see another one around here. Let's take a little walk around this boarded up building. Look at this. Now imagine this was just full of people at one point. Just people shopping, getting luxury items, things like that. And now it's a sketchy abandoned building. Yeah, up ahead here we can see the old Strawbridge seal. I think it's kind of cool that they left these here. There are several other malls that they left the Strawbridge seal up, even though they were later converted into Macy's. But that's really cool. Alrighty, now we're coming around the front side of the former Strawbridge, former Macy's. What an amazing looking building here. Oh, maybe we can see something inside this window. Now, I know they have it like boarded up all across the front here. Let's see, what can we see in here? Looks like just a stairwell. I would love to be able to go inside here, because I'm sure it's just filled with just amazing old school decor, old retail stuff. Yeah, over here it's all boarded up. Yeah, I don't think there's any way to get inside here. Look at these wood door handles. Very unique. I hope somebody saves this if they ever do demolish this building. It makes me so sad to see a place like this that's filled with just so much retail history, so much old school decor, old school charm, just to see it fall into such decline, and just eventually it's going to be demolished. And it makes me so sad to see just such a disrespect for things from the past. I mean, I love this stuff. I know I'm a geek for it, but I know a lot of other people just have a real attachment to it. And so to see stuff like this, it kind of breaks my heart a little bit. This mall in particular really breaks my heart. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up the video here. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to see me on more adventures in the future. If you'd like to support the channel, please check out my Patreon page or consider becoming a channel member. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Special thank you to all my Patreon supporters and channel members. Your support makes this channel possible.